Hello everyone. So welcome you all to Ashok Tutorials Meghalaya's first MTED channel. So my dear friends, in this video we are going to start with Unit 5, alright? Unit 5. And what is there in Unit 5? We have inclusive education. And my dear friends, this topic is very important for your MTET as well as for your CTET. Whatever I teach you, it does not only strictly related to MTET, but it is also related to the CTET. All right. So you can apply this whatever I teach you today in your CTET exams as well as in your MTET exam. So this topic is very important, very important. All right. So here we are going to learn about inclusive education, and we will know what is inclusive education meaning and concept. We will try to understand. All right, so first of all, let us see what do we mean by inclusive education. So inclusive education refers to an educational approach that aims to provide equal opportunities for all students regardless of their physical, intellectual, social, emotional, or linguistic differences. Let us see meaning now. Inclusive education refers to an educational approach that aims to provide equal opportunities for all students, regardless of their physical, intellectual, social, emotional, or linguistic differences. Now, inclusive education means including all the children, regardless of their physical abilities and disabilities, intellectual abilities and disabilities, social abilities and disabilities, emotional abilities and disabilities, or linguistic abilities and disabilities, which means in an inclusive classroom, we don't discriminate. All right, we never discriminate whether the child have disability or whether the child is average or whether the child is intelligent. Everybody studies in the same classroom. This is inclusive education. Rupeng tau the inclusive education de belong important wa many important wa na inclusive education ode darang ko ba makhang ni ani dongja sau ba de listening problem dongen sau ba de visual problem dongen sau ba de locomotor problem dongen mo sau ba de dyslexia dongen sau ba dyscalculia dongen rang kamak kon ino de apsan khumonge class ra kamak kon apsan takise treat kha ane darang ko ba na adal bata na ama shi bata na ama shi ja na andakpa background ni na andakpa religion ni andakpa rang dongjai no dene ini de kamak kon apsan take channe sa ria. So it is a normal classroom, right, where all the learners are treated equally, right, without any differences. So they are not discriminated. The primary objective of inclusive education is to ensure that every child, regardless of their abilities or disabilities, has access to quality education in a regular classroom. See, this is what I was saying. Tao de, mai dakana inclusive education means de je problem ba dong sina bisa mo ja ari na manja makronak na manja nasil khana na manja ba sina jotna changja je problem ba ongkhan bisong absan average bisarang intelligent bisarang baksan poraigen aro bisong ko teacher rang ba absan takin treat khagen ne. So in an inclusive education, what happens, there is no discrimination. All right, there is no discrimination based on the disabilities the children may have, right? Everybody is treated equally. So that's why inclusive education is very important and very good. Concept. The concept of inclusive education revolves around the idea that all children, regardless of their diverse needs, should learn together in the same educational environment. This approach recognizes the value of diversity and strives to adapt the teaching and learning process to meet the needs of all learners. It promotes the idea that inclusion goes beyond just physical placement in a classroom. It involves creating a supportive environment that facilitates the participation, learning, and development of all students. Now, you see, concept. What is the concept of this inclusive education? The concept of inclusive education is that regardless of whatever the background the child is coming from, he will study together in the same educational environment, in the same classroom. And these recognizes the value of diversity. We know unity in diversity, right? Unity in diversity means what? Unity in diversity means, suppose someone is Khasi, someone is Bengali, someone is Assamese, someone is Garo, someone is Mizo, and someone is Hindu, someone is Muslim, someone is Christian, someone is Buddhist, and everybody stays together in harmony, right? So that is what? That is diversity, staying together in a diverse environment. So this approach, what does it do? It recognizes the value of diversity and strive to adapt teaching and learning process to meet the needs of all the learners. All right. So here all the learners are treated equally, right? So here the system will change. If the learners need hands-on activities, the system will change, which means the teaching process will change, the teaching learning materials will change, the hands-on activities might be provided. So according to the need of the learner, all the possible, all the possible help will be given to the children. Here the teaching methods, the teaching style, the qualification, the experience, everything, the system, the curriculum, everything has to adjust according to the need of the learner. Learner will not adjust, all right? The system will adjust. So that's why you have to remember a very important term. This question was asked somewhere in AMTET also. What is that question? That question is, system should change according to the needs of the learner, or the learner should change according to the need of the system. So the first one is correct, which means the systems should change, not the learners. All right, the systems should change according to the need of the learner. Because why? Because the system is for the learner, not learner for the system. These things are very important. Right? Remember that the system is for the learner and not learner for the system. So if you ask me, one simple example I can give you is that you have a car or a bike or a scooty or a cycle. So that is for you, right? That cycle, that scooty, that car is for you, but you are not for that car, scooty, or cycle, right? So this is the same way. So your car is for you. So the system or the curriculum or the school or the education is for you, but you are not for the school or curriculum, right? This is what I'm trying to say here. So in inclusive education, what happens is that physical adjustment are also made. Suppose Bala. Have you heard of Bala? I'm not talking about that Akshay Bala, right? I'm talking about Bala means, with educational point of view, Bala means building as learning aids. Now, what is building as learning aids? Building as learning aids means, see, these days when you go to school, especially to especially to play schools, what do you see? You see in the building, paintings are there, drawings are there, mathematics is there, calculation, multiplication, football, different colors, books, children playing, all these things you see in the building, right? So these things, when building becomes a means of learning, that is called Bala, or building as learning aids, right? And here, see, one more thing they have said is physical placement. So in an inclusive environment, what you will see is that, see, here all the children are given equal importance. So some children may come to school in wheelchair. So for them, what can that child study comfortably when we have stairs only? No, but we should also have ramp, right? Ramp where the wheelchair can be easily taken inside the building and the child can sit comfortably, and the classroom should be very, very comfortable for the learners. And not only this, suppose a child have listening problem, so that child can be made to sit in front of the or nearby the speakers, right? And suppose some children have difficulty in seeing what is written on the board, then those kind of children may be asked to come and sit in front. So the system will adjust, not the children. So this is important here. Key principles of inclusive education: equality of opportunity. So all the children are treated equally and everybody have equal opportunity in inclusive education. They have equal access to all the resources, all the materials, and all the activities. All right. Respect for diversity. So here there is no discrimination. All the children are respected. As I told you, some might be speaking Bengali, some might be speaking Khasi, some might be speaking Garo, some might be speaking Panar, some might be speaking Nepali, some might be speaking Mizo. So all these children, they stay in harmony with one another, right? Unity and diversity, participation and belonging. So, you know, in inclusive education, the teachers will make sure that no child is feeling left behind or no child is uncomfortable. If they find anybody is not feeling comfortable, then they will try to adjust the system or the curriculum according to that child's need. All right. So, this is what inclusive education is. Support and adaptations. Teachers should adapt the curriculum, teaching methods, and assessment to meet the individual needs of students. This is what I told you already. That system will adjust, not the learners. So teachers will try to adapt. They will try to use different type of teaching aids, teaching materials, then different types of textbooks, different type of activities, hands-on experience, experiments, you know, and in this way they will try their best that all the child they learn, right? Now here this is very important. In collaboration, inclusive education fosters a collaborative approach with teachers, parents, and specialists working together to support the children's learning or students learning. So this is a collaboration, which means here the teacher alone will not work. The teacher might seek help from other teachers, from special teachers, from expert teachers, and the teacher might take the help of parents and also different specialist teachers. Examples of inclusive education: differentiated instructions. A teacher uses varied teaching strategies and materials to accommodate different learning styles in the same classroom. For example, visual aids for visual learners, hands on activities for kinesthetic learners, and verbal explanation for auditory learners. See, this is what I was saying. In the same classroom, we have children who have different disabilities, right? So what the teacher can do is that the child who learns better by looking, so for them the child can bring pictures, the videos, right? And those children who learn through play activities or projects or through experiments, so for them the teacher can do kinesthetic activities, right, where the children can touch, feel, and learn. Verbal explanation. So verbal explanation means this is for those children who learn or understands by listening. All right, so this is for them. So teachers can adapt visual aids or kinesthetic aids or hands-on activities or verbal explanations. Peer support system. In an inclusive classroom, students with disabilities might be paired with peers who assist them in understanding lesson, completing tasks, or navigating the school environment. This helps foster social interaction and a sense of community. See, as I always say in every video of mine, that no man is an island, which means we cannot stay all alone. We are social beings, we are social animals, so we live in a society, right? We live in a community, we live in a family. So when the children are going to the classroom should be such that the children they are helping each other, they are learning from one another. It should be a classroom where everybody is eager and ready to help one another and learn at the same time, right? And there should be no discrimination. Universal design for learning. What is UDL? UDL means universal design for learning. UDL is an educational framework that promotes flexible learning environment strategies. Teachers may provide materials in multiple formats: audio, text, video, to cater to diverse learning needs and ensure that all students can access the content. Universal design for learning means teacher should provide the study materials or whatever the learning materials they have through different modes, in the form of audios, in the form of videos, in the form of pictures, in the form of text, and the learners will pick up according to their own needs. Co-teaching models. In classroom with students with disabilities, general education teacher may work alongside special education teacher. This collaborative teaching model allows for tailored instructions and support for all learners. Now you see, co-teaching models means two type of teacher. One is a general teacher, another one is a specialist teacher, those who are specialist in teaching the disabled children, right? So those two type of teachers can work together in the same classroom. They can work collaboratively, and they can come to a better conclusion, because both the teachers will make the classroom a very, very interesting one and a very, very comfortable one, because as we know that there are students from different backgrounds. So if we have two teachers in the same classroom, one is special, one is general, then of course you know that that classroom is going to be an amazing classroom, right? Adapting assessment methods. Instead of one size fits all approach to assessment, students might have different forms of assessment. For example, a student with dyslexia may be given extra time on test or allowed to answer questions orally instead of in writing. Now you see, adapting assessment method means according to the need of the learner, you adapt your assessment style. That is what. That is, for example, if you have given a test and if you see there is a child who have dyslexia. Dyslexia means what? Dyslexia means the children who have problem in reading and writing. All right. The best example I have given you last time is from the movie Tare Zameen Par. You can see Ishan Avasti, right? So that child in the movie Tare Zameen Par from Amir Khan's movie, he have problem called dyslexia, where he is reading ulta fulta, right? He don't know what is how to write B and D, how to write 9 and 6, how to write 10 or 01, or he do not know what is the difference between WAS and SAW. These differences he do not know, right? Assistive technology. Technologies like speech to text software, hearing aids, and communication boards are used to support students with physical or learning disabilities. For example, a student with visual impairment may use a screen reader to access digital content. So now you see that the science is advancing more and more. So new technologies are coming up, right? So we have speech to text software also, right? Where when we are saying something orally, it is already typed on the screen, right? And so there are different type of children, right? Are different technologies used in order to support the children of different type. So like hearing aids can be provided, or communication boards can be given to children with physical or learning disabilities. Here one example is given that suppose if a child he cannot see, right, he or she cannot see, visually impaired. So in that case, what happens if we have a screen reader, which means these days in phone also we have, if if you want to use, you can see talk back. It is written talk back mode in your phone. Talk back means it will talk back. Whatever you do, it will talk. Suppose you are typing a message, so they will say the message to you. If you are browsing something, then they will tell that what you are doing. The voice or the software will speak that to you. Suppose if a child he is not able to see, so he can make use of this software and he can listen instead of watching. All right. Inclusive extra curricular activities. School ensure that students with diverse needs are also included in extracurricular activities such as sports, music, or arts club. This could involve providing extra support, modification, or adaptive equipment to facilitate their participation. So schools should make sure that students with diverse need, since different type of students are present in the same classroom, so they have different needs. So according to their needs, they should be exposed, or they should be provided opportunities to play sports, to learn music, to join art clubs, to join eco clubs, right? So this will provide a comfortable environment, a support, and modify the abilities, or it can help the student adapt to the changing environment which they might have not got in a regular or a normal school without inclusion, all right, without inclusiveness.